he did have a rally today, and we have
Ooh,
a couple of clips.
yeah, too. He went from North Carolina to New York.
Yeah, again, I think he is instant. I'm sure he already had these set up, but he definitely seemed energized, and he seemed like he was ready to go. But this was him today in North Carolina, and you would think that this was prior to the debate.
Right?
This was today, and it was after the debate.
Yeah.
Now, folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on a stage debating a guy who has the morals of an alley cat.
Might have used a different term than alley cat, but that's okay. All right, with us on nitpick everything.
He's still
Did you
sick,
see
too. You
Trump
can
last
tell.
night?
Yeah.
My guess he said, I mean it sincerely, a new record for the most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched, killing millions of people. He closed businesses. He closed schools, losing their
Yes, he
homes
did.
people all over this country. America was flat on its back. So I told Trump that he was just one of two presidents in American history who left office with fewer jobs than he started. Herbert Hoover was the other one. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump.
Some young
Then
people
he
like,
lied about how great he was for veterans. But then I told him how he had called a veteran who had given their lives in the country in World War I and refused to go to the grave sites. He called them suckers and losers. He tried to deny it. But let me ask you, are you going to believe a four-star Marine general, his own former chief of staff, John Kelly, who said he said that? Or a disgraced, defeated, and lying Donald Trump?
Yeah, that was good, and we got some more from that. But first, he brought up the economy, that Donald Trump had said that he had created the greatest economy in the history of this country, which is certainly not true. First of all, we pointed this out before, and we got to make this clear to anybody that wants to talk the economy in this country, is that sure, during the first few years, 3 years of Donald Trump's administration, the economy was doing very well, but it had nothing to do with what Donald Trump did.
absolutely.
There's no policies that Donald Trump implemented that made the economy do better. The only reason why the economy did well is because the economy was on an upswing after Obama left, and
Exactly.
he really just didn't do anything
Right.
until he implemented that the tax break for the rich people, which eventually led to him doubling the debt of what Joe Biden did during his administration.
Right.
But the difference is that Joe Biden, half the debt that Donald Trump created, it actually went to shit that created jobs that helped American
Right.
people,
Right.
where Donald Trump's debt did nothing but help the rich people. Now, of course,
Nothing.
they both had COVID relief programs that added to the debt, so they both helped the people during COVID. But when you talk about the non-COVID stuff, Donald Trump doubled the amount just by cutting taxes for the rich, and Joe Biden had half of the debt, but he used it. He had a return on investment.
Right. Right. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
So it's frustrating. Then, of course, he brought up the suckers and losers thing, and Donald Trump denies that and said, first of all, that Joe Biden made that up, just like Joe Biden made up that Donald Trump's a criminal and he's the
Right.
one who pressed for these cases, which
Hunter is
Joe
the
Biden.
one with the real felonies, the heavy felony. Like, what the
Yeah, I mean, and there's no substance, there's absolutely no proof to any of the thing these people say, but you will have the MAGA Republicans who will absolutely believe that Joe Biden, Hunter Biden,
Yeah.
Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton are all these mastermind criminals,
Yeah.
and they just somehow get away with it where Donald Trump doesn't, which is, I mean, absolutely ridiculous. But anybody that wants to question whether or not Joe Biden made this up or John Kelly actually said it. There was a piece that was done here that quotes John Kelly with what he said.
Kelly sets the record straight with on-the-record confirmation of a number of damning details about Donald Trump from background sources, including from a 2020 Atlantic story reported with unnamed sources by editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg, including the stunning detail that Trump turned to Kelly on Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery in 2017 and asked, "I don't get it. What was in it for them?" This is Kelly confirming on the record stories of Trump insulting Senator John McCain and former President George H.W. Bush because in Vietnam and in World War II, respectively, the former aviators were shot down. Kelly describes Trump as, quote, "a person that thinks those who defend their country in uniform or are shot down or seriously wounded in combat or spend years being tortured as POWs are all, quote, suckers because, quote, there is nothing in it for them. A person that did not want to be seen in the presence of military amputees because, quote, it doesn't look good for me. A person that demonstrated open contempt for a Gold Star family, for all Gold Star families on TV during the 2016 campaign."
That is coming from John Kelly, which we've talked about this before, I think a couple of weeks ago, Lana. Is it what is in it for John Kelly to make up a story? You even heard Donald Trump last night. He's like, think about it. Why? It's a ridiculous. Why would I ever say that about military people? Why would I? But on the same token, why would John Kelly make this up? So who do you think is more credible in this conversation? John Kelly, who's a 4-star general who probably voted for Donald Trump. I don't know that as a fact, but you can surmise that he did. Who do you think has more credibility in this guy or a lifelong lying con man?
But we heard him attack military men and women. We heard him attack McCain.
Yep.
We saw him with the Khan family, how he attacked the father and mother of, I forget his name, but Khan, who died in is it Afghanistan?
I believe, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I'm sorry, but right, he attacked them too. Like, so someone who we've heard with our ears attacking military is now telling us he didn't attack those military men and women. Like,
correct. He knows that, since there's no audio of it, and even if there was, he somehow still would argue to the death that it
doesn't
him,
matter.
Or he didn't really say it, or he would come up with some nonsense that people would actually go around and repeat and say, yeah, he didn't say that. You guys are just taking it out of context, even though the words are exactly what he said.
I don't even think General Kelly has ever said suckers and losers in the last 40 years of his life. Or 50. Something he probably does not say.
Certainly what I would not mind if John Kelly would come out at some point and say it on the record in an interview. I know he said it on the record there, but on an audio where he's actually saying it rather than it being repeated from a story would certainly help. And I think John Kelly obviously is somebody that would put country ahead of party. And again, I don't know that John Kelly is a Republican. I have no idea. He did work under the Trump administration. I don't know that necessarily makes you a Republican. There are plenty of Republicans that work under Democrats and vice versa. But either way, I hope at some point that happens. And I think he may be prodded, more and more as we get closer to the election for him to do that. And I hope at some point that he does. But here's another clip from today, obviously the clip of the day that probably will get people the most charged up. This was President Joe Biden closing today. That is really the best way to get back on this road to recovery of letting people know, hey, fucked up last night. There's no question about it, but I'm not the idiot that you saw. I am the guy that could still do this. And this was really, really good.
Folks, let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man.
By the way, just in this clip, Lana, does he already look younger than he did last night?
He looks younger. He doesn't have a stuffy tie on. I was about to say his suit, his shirt, he's got some color.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got more hair.
Right.
For some reason. Like, why does it look like he has more hair today?
He looks like he's 10 years younger than he was at least 10 years.
He must have been very tired too. Like, he just didn't look well. He looks well rested and definitely better. Maybe it was too late. Maybe they should do debates in the morning.
Are you suggesting that he did not down the Mountain Dew, that they were so afraid?
Yeah, maybe, right, exactly. But if he down Mountain Dew, he'd be in the bathroom, man.
I think we could get rid of two different narratives from last night. One, that CNN was going to be unfair to Donald Trump, and two, that Joe Biden takes drugs, performance enhancing drugs.
It didn't work.
Those are two things. I want to talk about CNN and their coverage too here in a second, or the moderators. I do have an opinion about that, but let's get back to Joe Biden's closing arguments. I'm not going to interrupt this again.
Okay.
State the obvious. Well, I know.
Oh my God!
Crowd's already behind him. This isn't them cheering, saying, "Yeah, fuck that old shit. We still have your."
I don't. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong.
Biden is always sick, though. That is what worries me.
Say that again?
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put it in.
No,
I just said he's always sick. I'm like, that is the thing that worries me the most, because he always has a cold.
Yeah, we got to get rid of that.
I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up. Yeah.
Yeah, that would fire up anybody. That, you know, if you were there, if you were watching, no matter what, that's the road to recovery. This is gonna be how he's gonna have to do it. But you know, the thing is this is gonna have to be from now until the election.
Yeah,
there cannot be another stumble.
He's gonna wear out, man. He's got a lot of work to do.
He really does, and you know, it's. I think it's important that not just today, but I think from this point on, that he acknowledges, you know, the stumbles. He doesn't have to do it every day until November, but we have to do it until we shake this off a little bit. And it's just, you know, if I'm him, I just go to all these interviews and go, boy, that was really bad. And I get it. I watched it again. I was not happy with my performance. I was not prepared as I should have been. Right. And, you know, quite frankly, it is difficult to argue with somebody who is not fact checked, who is not, you know, in real time being stopped and saying that's not true. And you're allowing somebody to continue to say, hey, that's not true.